Hi everyone, it's John Mitchell, and today we're looking at corporate culture, which is the shared values and beliefs of the people within the organisation. So just think, if you travel around Australia or travel around the world, everywhere has their own varying culture, and organisations are no different. There's different people in all organisations, and there's different people running each organisation, and so they have their own separate culture. And really what it is looking at what an organisation values most, and they work really hard, or successful organisations work really hard on getting the people within the organisation to share the same values. And that's really important for the success of an organisation. Now, firstly, we need to look at different indicators of culture. So if you were to walk into an organisation, how could you determine what type of culture it has? And here's just a few different ways. So we could look at the type of management style, and we'll get into management styles later on, but what that's looking at is the interaction between a manager and employees. Who makes decisions and how do they communicate with their employees? Are they what we call an autocratic manager, where the manager is the one that makes decisions and then just barks orders at the employees and tells them what to do? Or are they more participative, where they actually involve employees in decision making and that working relationship is really strong? Another way is standard of dress. I've got a picture of Google there where they can just wear whatever they want to work. You can see they're all in t-shirts and jeans, etc. Or is it a really professional dress expected at an organisation? The physical environment, that could be anything from, is it clean and tidy? Again, Google, you go to the Google offices and there's like volleyball courts and all those type of things there. Is it the physical environment? Are they in corrals where you're working on your own, or are they is there round tables where they're working together? All those type of things can help indicate what kind of culture the organisation has. Values, I've got on the right hand side there the 10 core values of Zappos, and I'm going to get into Zappos in a second because it's a really good example of building an organisation on corporate culture. But it's the actual value. So you can see there the number one value is what they value most is to deliver wow through service. So their main goal, what they try and get all employees to value most, is customer service. Symbols, they can be someone like Ronald McDonald, who displays, sort of happiness for children, or it could be, like a corporate logo. So the different symbols can be an indicator for corporate culture. Any kind of ritual, so it could be that, every week we go for Friday night drinks. It could be that we go bowling. Any kind of ritual that an organisation does over and over will determine the type of culture that an organisation has, and any heroes that an organisation has as well. So that could be, someone who started the organisation. Is there a big picture of them? And this is what the organisation was built on. This is what we want to adhere to at all times. Or is it, something where we give an employee of the month to say, these people have shown the values that we value within the organisation. So if they're how we can indicate culture, how does an organisation develop the culture that they desire? So we also need to look at different ways that you can do as a manager to ensure that the organisation or the employees within the organisation are sharing in the same values. First of all, management providing an example of the culture. So it's just by leading by example. That shows the employees what the actual shared values are and what's expected of them. Recruiting employees that fit in with the desired culture is a really important one. So it could be that you pass on really talented employees, but ensuring that they fit in, so they have the same values of everyone within the organisation. Communicating the desired values so that everyone's clear on what the shared values are. Training in line with the desired culture. So again, if we look at Zappos and it says that they value customer service, well, guess what? Everyone should be trained in customer service skills. And recognising and rewarding employees that demonstrate the desired values. So that sort of positive reinforcement by if people are demonstrating the right values, then they should be recognised and rewarded for that. So the importance of culture, I've got an example here. Here's Tony Shea. He's the CEO of Zappos, who has an online company called Zappos.com. But first of all, he was a CEO of a successful technology company before he really got involved in Zappos, and he hated going to work every morning. He'd wake up and just hated going to work because it just wasn't a great place to be, even though it was quite successful. And he thought, well, if I'm like that, If I feel like that, imagine what the other employees are feeling like every day. So what he did, he ended up selling that business to Microsoft and began working on the company Zappos, which originally sold online shoes. It now sells much more than that. And what he did was he built the entire company on culture. So everyone that he employed had to be a good cultural fit. So everyone that he hired needed to pass 2 series of interviews. Firstly, a skill and ability series of interviews to make sure they had the basic skills, knowledge and experience to undertake a particular role. But then they had to undertake cultural fit interviews. And that would be determining what they valued most, what kind of person they were, and whether they'd actually fit in with what Zappos was all about. And they had to pass, no matter what happened, they had to pass both sets of interviews. So even though they could be the most talented employees, and obviously being online, you needed strong coders and things like that, some really, computer engineers, all those type of people that were really talented. And he's been on the record as saying that he's passed on many talented employees simply because they didn't fit in with the culture of the organisation. And the power of that is that he was able to turn that business into a $1 billion company in less than 10 years. And that company virtually started from nothing. And he was able to do that, and he attributes all that success to building that on culture. It's if you ever get a chance to look at him speak, he's a really powerful speaker, and he just attributes all the success to building the company on culture. So that's how important culture can be. So just to recap, culture is the shared values of the people within the organisation. We need to be able to identify culture, so things like management style, dress, physical environment, rituals, symbols, etc., heroes. And then we need to be able to develop culture, so making sure we're recruiting in line with our desired culture, training in line with it, leading by example, communicating the desired values, and recognising and rewarding those that behave in the way we want them to behave. So for activities, questions and more on this topic, then come on over to teachingbubble.com.